Yo, what's up friends? Welcome back to this week's video. If you're new here, what's up? My name's Nicole and I make weekly videos on personal finance, investing, self-development, and all the other fun and interesting stuff. Because I make videos about money, it only makes sense that some of you guys also send me messages and questions about how I think you should be managing your money. I keep saying this in my videos, but I'm sorry. I can't tell you what to do or what investments are best for you. Only you can really say for yourself what investments make sense for you. Whatever works for me may not necessarily work for you. We have different goals and different lifestyles, so yeah. I am not a financial advisor. None of this is to be taken as professional advice. I am just a random 20-year-old on the internet sharing what I've learned so far in the hopes of maybe inspiring some of you to also take action. Woo! Alright, so with those things out of the way, I can't exactly tell you what to invest in, but I can still give you some ideas, right? So in this video, I'm going to be sharing my system and my thought processes on what my investments are and why I'm invested in the things that I'm invested in, and maybe that can sort of help guide you in your own decision-making processes. Alright, so my entire money system is divided into two categories, so that's cash and investments. In a previous video, I talked about my cash system, like my entire 13 accounts and how I manage that. You can check it out here. I'll link it up here if you guys are interested. And I also made a video about how I track my entire cash flow, expense tracking, spreadsheet, all those things. And then for my investments, I'm going to talk about them in this video. It isn't as straightforward as my cash system, but I'm going to explain my reasons behind why I'm invested in the things that I'm invested in. Just for the context, I've been investing for about 2 years now. So I started 2 years ago when I turned 18. And my investments are far from perfect. There are a lot of things that I still need to fix and move around and rebalance. But yeah, I'm gonna tell you guys what they are at currently. As for the allocation, I allot about 30% in cash, while I put 70% in investments. Under investment, there's about 5 categories: agriculture, stocks or like UITF, and then MP2, crypto, and then others. Before we dive into my actual investments though, let me just emphasize a couple of key concepts or mental frameworks that I want you guys to remember when making your own financial and investing decisions. There's 4 of them. 1. Risk appetite. Before you even go out and start putting your money into investments, you first need to think about how much risk are you personally willing to take. There are so many investment options out there, but there are some investments that are better suited for some people and are better suited for some financial goals. There are actually a lot of factors that can affect your risk appetite. So an example is time horizon. How long are you going to be invested in? Are you going to need it in the short term, in the long term? Or maybe you have a family already, which means that you might not be able to take as much risk as compared to someone who doesn't have a family yet. There's really just one thing you need to remember about risk. Say this with me: high risk, high return. Low risk, low return. Usually that's how it goes. It's not risky to put your money in the bank. Therefore, the interest that you can get from putting your money in the bank is not as high as putting your money in crypto markets, for example. It's very risky, but it also means that you can win big money there. A lot of people want to get into crypto nowadays because they see the potential for the very big, large gains. Like 100%, 500% in a week. God damn! You're chasing 100% gains. But are you prepared to lose 100% as well? Yeah, think about that. Number 2, the magic of compound interest. Explained basically, it's just your money making you more money. Let's say you invested some capital in an MP2, you leave it there, and then the next year, you earn some interest on your capital. Good, you got some interest, right? The next year, you're not just gonna earn interest on the original capital anymore. You're earning interest on the capital plus interest. So that's a bigger amount for you to earn interest in, and it's just gonna keep growing and growing and growing until it becomes humongous. Magic of compound interest. And the way for you to really supercharge the magic of compound interest is by taking advantage of time. When you start out as young as possible, you can really take super max advantage of that compound interest because you have a lot more time for your investment to compound. Yeah, I talk about this more in my how to start investing video. You can watch it there. So compound interest, it leads us to number 3, and that's consistency. Being consistent is so underrated. Like, this doesn't just apply to finance, but also in other parts of your life. Small efforts eventually snowball into something big. Like, take for example, you only have 500 pesos to invest every month. Well, if you keep investing that 500 pesos month after month for a span of 5 years, it will eventually grow to 30,000. And number 4, earning power. I mentioned this in my IG stories a couple of days ago. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know. I came across this article that mentions how a lot of us are usually focused on the small, insignificant details when it comes to building wealth. Like, for example, when people ask, should I invest in this index fund or this index fund, or should I put my money in ING or CAMB? Honestly, like, the difference between similar products are almost insignificant. Just choose one. Like, I don't think it's worth the time to really stress out over that 0.5% difference or 1% difference. I think a better use of your time is really finding ways to invest in yourself and increase your earning power, building extra sources of income so that you have more capital to invest. Remember, a 5% gain on a 1 million peso investment is much larger than a 50% gain on a 1,000 peso investment. You get, you feel? Alright, sige, investments. Just for some context, I'm currently 20 years old and I'm an incoming third-year student. So I still live with my parents, which means that I don't really have significant financial obligations that I need to pay for. I'm an aggressive investor and a lot of the money that I make and I currently have, I don't really need right now, so I invest it. I invest it for the long term. I'm also not one to splurge on myself a lot. Like, I don't buy a lot of things, spend a lot of things. As much as possible, I delay my instant gratification so that I can save as much as I can para in the future, I have a lot of money to enjoy. I'm really aiming for the financial independence, like not needing to work for money. Yeah, it's the dream, it's the goal. I also don't trade. I am not a trader. I don't trade stocks. I don't trade crypto. I don't trade forex. So for those of you guys requesting for trading videos, I'm sorry, but I don't think I'll ever make those. I'm mostly just an investor. Nice! Let's talk about my investments. So my investments are divided into 5 subcategories. Let's go through each of them. Alright, so number 1 is agriculture. So when I was starting out, I was really researching into what investments I can put my money into. And I came across this like agriculture crowdfunding investment. Under agriculture, I'm invested in Cropital and FarmOn. So for Cropital, essentially they have farmers listed on their platform. These are mostly palay farmers, and these farmers are trying to raise capital for their palay farm. In Cropital, you're able to grow your money as well as help farmers. So for the rates, they offer fixed returns. They actually give 3.5% return on your investment in 4 to 6 months. The minimum investment per farm is 5,000, and on each 5,000 peso investment, you earn 175 pesos. Alright, very nice. It's a wholesome investment, right? You're investing and at the same time, you're helping farmers. But like, just for some of my thoughts, it says low risk, right? Like 2/5. But I don't really think that this is a low risk investment, especially during these times. Agriculture is a very vulnerable sector. Not that the farmers don't pay on time, but there are so many factors that can affect how soon they're able to harvest their crops. I've had both good and bad experiences on this platform. I guess instead of viewing Cropital as a vehicle to grow your wealth, think about it more talaga as a means of donation, like donating with a return. FarmOn, well, FarmOn has changed from when I started investing in 2018. You choose the crops or like the plants, the vegetables that you want to invest in. Different crops have different rates of return. It was good at the start, but I don't know, they've been changing and I don't think they're as transparent anymore to their investors. My current investments in FarmOn are currently frozen, like they're delaying the payout because they said that their operations have been affected by the pandemic. I don't recommend this anymore. Like a year ago, 2 years ago, I would have recommended investing in FarmOn, but now, not so much. They're not very transparent anymore. FarmOn exists if you want to check it out. Now let's move on to my stocks or like UITF. I used to own individual stocks like when I started out. Syempre, like with most of you guys. Starting out, I didn't really know what to do. So I would just listen to the advice of what other people said. I don't know, that's what people said. Like you buy blue chip stocks because they're relatively safer than the other stocks. I don't know. I've since then sold all of my individual stocks. Upon evaluating what I really wanted, like what my financial goals were, I didn't have the time to monitor my individual stock investments. So I just decided, you know what, I think it would be better for me to invest in funds instead. Mostly index funds because index funds are already diversified, blah, blah, blah. I talk about index funds in my mutual fund video. You can check it out. But yeah, so the first one is FMETF. It's an exchange traded fund, which means that it can be bought or sold in the stock market. I invest in FMETF because according to my research, the FMETF outperforms the other index funds. But I noticed that it can be illiquid at times. So I don't invest everything in FMETF. I also invest some money in actual mutual fund index funds. PhilEquity PSE Index Fund and the BDO Equity Index Fund. Because my bank is BDO, so I was testing out their UITF facility. And yeah, very convenient naman. If you have a BDO online banking account, it's very easy for you to invest in their UITFs. I invest in PhilEquity through Call Financial. So with their easy investment program, you can automatically schedule kasi like month over month buy this much worth of funds. Yeah, I'm choosing not to dedicate so much time into like monitoring my investments. I just want to like, yeah, cost averaging. And then we have my Atram Alpha Opportunity Fund. So I'm investing in this opportunity fund through Seedbox. Alpha Opportunity Fund is investing in small to medium cap growth companies. There's a lot of potential for these companies to grow, but they're not necessarily included in the PSEI. High risk. It's a high risk investment. I'm currently down 20% because of the pandemic. This is what I mean, okay? Like when you're investing, just be aware of like the risks involved. These things can happen. I'm 20% down. And then number 3, I'm investing in Pag-ibig MP2. I made a video about them recently. You can check it out here. And they're essentially one of the best investments that I could recommend to beginners and also students because you can start investing with only 500 pesos. There are risk-free investments because they're backed by the government and they give pretty high returns, tax-free pa. Number 4, I'm investing in cryptocurrency, very interesting. I only started learning about cryptocurrency back in April, and after I got interested with the technology, I bought some cryptocurrency. I mostly invested in Bitcoin and Ethereum, but I hold some stable coins and altcoins. I made a video about why I invest in crypto. You can check the video out. Essentially, I'm exposing a portion of my investments to the growth opportunities that are in crypto. I believe that cryptocurrencies, blockchain technology applications are in the future. It encourages me to learn more about cryptocurrencies, about the technology, because I have some of my money at stake with the investment. I don't expose too much of my portfolio to crypto because, as you guys know, it's a very, very volatile, wild ride in the crypto market. You can go to sleep and when you wake up, you suddenly lose like 20% in value. Yeah, not for the faint of heart. For my stablecoins, I also earn interest on them. Cryptocurrency interest accounts, parang saving accounts, but you can earn interest on your cryptocurrency. Maybe I'll make a video about that in the future. Let me know if you guys are interested. Cryptocurrencies are very cool. I think people should learn about it. Not necessarily everyone should invest in it, but at least learn about the technology. So with others, I've invested some money in Fundco. So Fundco is a peer-to-peer lending platform. They were good at the start, but something went wrong with the management or something, and now my funds are frozen there. I can't withdraw it. They said they're going to disperse the funds soon. I don't know how soon, I'm just waiting for it, but yeah. Very risky. I wouldn't recommend. Next, I have some money in RTB24. So I made a video about the bonds.ph app a few weeks ago. If you want to learn about investing in treasury bonds and how they're a relatively safe investment, you can check out the video there. And then we have Seedin. It's a crowdfunding lending platform for SMEs. And essentially, like people like you, a lot of investors can like invest in it. I'll probably make a video about Seedin in the future. But If you guys want to check it out, I'll leave a link in the description. And they offer about 7 to 20% annualized returns. So yeah, very good. It's an alternative investment, not the usual stocks, bonds, mutual funds. Okay, the featured comment for this video is by Nessa Flora. Nessa says that, buti na lang talaga dumaan sa YouTube feed ko si Nicole. Such a blessing. Stop it, you. Let's go, YouTube algorithm. You really inspired me not just stay and think, but to think, gather more facts, plan, and do some action. That's right, hella right. Action is always the most important thing. No matter how much you read or how much you watch content, application of what you've learned is always the most important thing. Yeah, and that's how you make progress. If you guys found this video helpful, if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up so that the YouTube algorithm will suggest this video to more people like Nessa. And yeah, just an update on my life though. My online classes are about to start this week. I'm still going to make weekly videos, but if I suddenly need to take a break from the workload, I'm gonna let you guys know. You guys can follow me on Instagram. I post Instagram stories there almost every day. I share my thoughts there. And you can like the Facebook page, join the Discord server so that you can connect with other members of the Bread fam. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next week.